Welcome to the Jaden Show, everybody. I hope you're having a lovely, lovely week. It's the time where I get to introduce you to someone fantastic, someone super talented, someone super authentic, and someone super lovely. Today, we're going to be going to Mexico City to meet Symphonic Metal classical crossover artist, the amazing Juan Pablo Sande. You're going to meet him in a minute, but I think we need to go and check a little bit of this boy out, don't you?
Last night a little dancer came dancing to my door. Last night a little angel came pumping on my floor. She said, come on baby, I got a license for love. And if it expires, pray help from above. Because in the midnight hour, she cried more. With a river, yeah, she cried more. In the midnight hour, babe, more. With a river, yeah, more. She don't like slavery, she wants it on bed. But when I get lonely, she sleeps in bed. What sets you free brought you to me, baby. What sets you free, I need you here by me. Because in the midnight hour, she cried more. With a river, yeah, she cried more. In the midnight hour, babe, more. With a river, yeah, more. He lives in his own heaven. Legs to go from the 7-Eleven. Works out all night to collect the fare. Just one, it don't mess up his hair.
Oh, amazing. Super cool. Can't wait to introduce him to you, but I'm afraid you're going to have to wait a little bit longer because we are going to go to a very, very quick Jaden Show commercial break. Are you ready, kids? Put your hands together. Please welcome to the Jaden Show, the amazing Juan Pablo Sande. Juan Pablo Sande, all the way from Mexico City. Buenos días, señor. ¿Qué tal?
Buenos días. It's a pleasure to be here with you talking today.
I am so pleased that you decided to come and do my show. It's amazing. I've been stalking your internet all morning and I've been listening to, well, we just heard Rebel Yell before the interview and I love that. You have so many different kind of flavors in your voice and your look and your mannerisms. I'm like, oh my God, that's kind of like, that's a little bit Alice Cooper. And oh my God, that's a little bit like Bon Jovi. And oh my God, there's a little bit of like Evanescence in there flavored as like, there's just so many different kind of, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I think that my musical style is pretty much influenced by this like visual identity, you know. I want to be a very flexible artist and to transmit this kind of emotion, passion, but not only to a romantic way as well, in a very darker side, you know. So I try to be very creative during my shoots and video recordings and things like that.
I love that. How did it all start for you? Like, what was going on when you were very young? And, you know, what were your family listening to? Were they listening to, like, you know, like rancheras, and then all of a sudden you coming and, like, how did it roll?
Yeah, actually, it's kind of funny because I didn't really grow up, like, in a very artistic environment, you know. My family wasn't very interested in music or art. I mean, when I was a child, I never thought about becoming a singer. Of course, I listened to soft music, but my family, you know, they listen to Juan Gabriel or Vicente Fernandez or things like that. But I didn't really feel like this kind of emotion and personal engagement through this music. So my start in music was like a coincidence because I was navigating through some videos in YouTube when I was a teenager, I am actually a big fan of medieval history, especially the Tudor period in England.
Dude, me too. I'm crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my favorite historical character is Elizabeth I. So I was watching a video about Elizabeth. It was a tribute video, and the soundtrack of this video was a song which is called "I Walk Alone," and the singer of this song is Tarja Turunen, who is the founder singer of a very known band, symphonic metal band, Nightwish. So when I listened to this song, I was like, "Oh my god, what is it?"
This is big.
Yeah, this is me. I felt totally, like every part of the song, every instrument, every lyric, every nuance, it was related to something beneath myself. So I was like, oh my god, I need to know more about this musical style. And I started to listen to Tarja. She is my favorite singer, of course. But thanks to her, I discovered so many bands, so many singers, and first of all, I started to, sing like a fan. You want to know the lyrics, in order to go to a concert or things like that. And eventually, my voice acquired this kind of bel canto style, and of course, all the identity of the symphonic metal just stuck with me as part of my personal life.
Wow.
So I think it's very particular way to study music because, as I already said, I wasn't an artistic child.
So that was the calling.
Yeah,
I had to say, I was a pop star in the 90s in England. And I remember, just not really, it was ticking some boxes, but not really every single box. And I remember, I think I was going into, some shopping plaza. And I heard Bring Me to Life by Evanescence.
Okay.
Now, I was brought up on ABBA. And, so I was pure pop boy. There was not one piece of, grit or, anything hard in my life at all. And I heard Evanescence, and I was like, oh, how can you see into my eyes? And I was like, this is my fucking song. This is what I need to be doing. Then I kind of started doing, I was a classical crossover artist for about 10 years. Yeah. I'd done 3 classical crossover albums. And that was kind of Josh Groban, this kind of Il Vivo, this kind of vibe, which I still do now, but it was always my dream to do something like Evanescence or Epica or this kind of vibe. That was so I love what you're doing because it really is that, it's that flavor for me. But with that, like you said, it's got a bit of a darker edge, and you're obviously you want to bring more theatrics into what you're doing, which I love. I'm all about that. I think that's just amazing.
Yeah, I think that this style gives you that opportunity to be yourself in very different ways. Yeah. You can be elegant, you can be rude, you can be angry, you can be emotional, you can talk about love, but as well you can talk about life or even the political situations, about what is happening nowadays in the world. So I think that thanks to this kind of music, I found a way to be totally myself. I discovered that I can be totally free while performing this kind of music. So it's been great for me to connect to this kind of concept, but as well as a personality, because I think that you have the possibility to do different musical styles, but not necessarily you feel the connection in a personal way. So having the opportunity to have this connection in symphonic metal, I think it's a very powerful tool in order to transmit and to be more authentic with my music.
No, absolutely. How did you go from kind of avid listener to semi-professional to something that, this is what I need to be doing now? What was that transition like, and how did it come about?
I think it's a very hard question because it's a very reflection in that. I mean, I started to sing I don't know, 13 years ago, and I was very young, I was not very confident about myself. I was very shy, and of course, I grew up as a very talented student. So everyone expected from me to be a doctor, to work in medical science or things like that, because that was like the expectations I needed to feel. So when I started to be interested in music, it was very hard for me to discover that my true passion was not something to fulfill the expectation of other people. So I think it was a very hard process for me because at the beginning of my singing era, I was not ready to fight for it. So I decided for a lot of years to go to the established path. I studied finance and accounting, so nothing related to music. But the art in my life was always there, and I always needed this like platform to be heard and to share my feelings and to share my art. And eventually, one day, I was reading a book about a woman in the Holocaust. I don't know if it is correctly said. Her name is Edith Eger, and she was a survivor in this Second World War crimes and things like that. So she wrote something about I could be 50 years old without fulfilling my dreams, or I could be 50 years old with my dreams as a lifestyle, as real things. So I was one day in my apartment here in Mexico City, and I was like, okay, I have 25 years old, and I still can be 30 years old without making any music, or I can be 30 years old as a singer. And I choose that. I was like, there is no perfect moment for me. I just want to take action and to create and to do what is really a passion for me. So I started to create music from then.
That's amazing, and really got me thinking. I started when I was, oh my god, 17, 16, 17. I'm 53 now, and I'm still doing something that I was very shy, like desperately shy, and with zero self-esteem, like zero self-esteem. So this would never ever have been the career or the joy or the creation of my choice, because it opens you up to so much criticism, so much. When you're singing, you're very raw, you're very vulnerable, So it would never have been one of my choice, and I probably never would have thought that I would still be doing it 34 years later and still craving to do more 34 years later. So that's, I love what was written in that book. That's amazing. So I can be 60 years old and just doing nothing, or 60 years old and still living my dreams and my creativity. No, it's absolutely, I love that. So how did you go then from, what was your decision like? Was it like, right, I'm going to find a local studio, I'm going to do a singing lesson, I'm going to do covers on YouTube? I mean, like, how did it roll?
Well, actually, I've been in singing lessons for at least, like 11 years. So singing lessons for me already were part of my life, my routine. But I always expected to create my own music, and I didn't want to start as a cover singer. I wanted to create my own, my own music, my own personality through my lyrics. So first of all, I decided to create a band.
Okay.
So I was looking for musicians here at the city to join, their talent with me. But it was a very hard time because, I don't know, my music, I think it's a very particular one. So it's not very well known across the community of musicians here in Mexico City. And of course, you have to face like all different kind of perceptions about what is to be in music. Some of them really didn't understand me. or I didn't understand them.
Right.
And as well, I have like an audition for a band. It was a band to do covers of music from the 80s, like Billy Idol or things like that. And I was rejected because of my physical, my physical look. So I was like, what the fuck? I mean, this is music. This is nothing to do with how you look or how do you behave. I don't know what did they expect from me, but it was a very hard time for me because I started again to doubt, to doubt that I was able to be a person in this industry or in this scene. So one day, after a lot of thinking, I decided to like give up and just return to my singing lessons. And I started classes here in Mexico City with Saul Jaime Escano, who is a very talented teacher, and he has a friend who actually is a producer. And the coincidence was that this producer, Alfredo Camacho, really likes my kind of music, symphonic metal. So I started to be in touch with him. I talked about my project, all the lyrics that I already had written, and he was like, "Of course, let's do this." And that's when everything just take reality. Yeah,
That's amazing, man. I love that story.
Yeah.
Story. I was the same as well. I was very shy, and I looked like Harry Potter. So when Harry Potter was not thought of, and definitely not fashionable, so I remember being asked to sing in bands. I started in church, really doing gospel. So I remember being, and literally, I was always put at the back of the choir or the back of the group because I was the shortest and the weirdest looking, and and that I think affected me later on as well. Well, even probably, I think it even affects. I think even now, I was talking to a friend the other day, and I was saying, so I can be singing the restaurant, and I know I can sing. I'm not. I know my limitations. I'm not the best singer, but I'm very versatile, and I can sing Nessun Dorma and Dua Lipa and Jose, and like I do every genre in 6 different languages. So so I can, and then I do classical and Evanescence and epic and stuff like this, and then you'll get one table, and they will make a face. And maybe it's because something they were eating didn't taste good, or maybe part of their conversation. But then, immediately they make that face, I automatically assume, even 34 years, and I've sung in front of 300 million people, even after 34 years, I still assume that face is directed at me.
Yeah.
But when people are having fun, I don't go, "Oh my God, they're loving their night because I'm singing." I never think that. I go straight to, "They fucking hate me. They hate me. Why am I doing this?" And that's after 34 years. So I think that battle is an ongoing thing. But I think with that battle, that makes you an incredibly authentic artist as well, because you give completely from your soul. You're not.
Totally.
Yeah. So, it's a complete blessing and a curse. So. Yeah. So you've met this producer. What is happening, like presently, for you?
Since I met this producer, who is actually a very good friend now, we decided to create my first song, which is called Tragedias, or in English, Tragedies. And it's a very positive song, an inspiring song, because it talks about even when you are in the very deepest of your darkest side, you always can find the light. You always can find the fire to keep going and to be the best version of yourself. So I really wanted to start my musical journey with my own song, my own lyrics, but as well with a very powerful message about who I am. So when we delivered this song, it was a very interesting process, because it was the first time for me to work in this in a more professional way. So I learned a lot about my voice, about how did a studio actually work, So I really enjoyed that, and I think that Alfred and I really we really combined perfectly. We really know each other. We care for each other. I think that the best part of it is that he's really open to listen to my ideas and to be respectful for me and as an artist and with my concept, of course. But I really appreciate that he always tried to keep me safe, to protect my voice, to protect my sound, to protect my identity. So I think this is not in every collaboration. So I am very grateful for that. Well, after that first song, we deliver a second one, which is called Entra en mi mente, like it's kind of be inside my mind. And it's a song, a very more, fast song, more energetic song about what happened when you are not ready or you are not able to tell the other people about who you are or about how do you feel or understand the world. So it's a song about being yourself and just forget about everything. Yeah,
I love that. We're going to watch that song at the end of this show. It's lovely.
Yeah.
The lovely song. I really love it. So what's going on for you at the moment? What's happening for Juan Pablo Sande now?
Well, I think this is the first time I'm going to say that, but I am actually working in my first full album, So currently we are recording the first songs. Alfred and I are like composing the rest of the album, and it's going to be a very theatrical album, a very diverse album, but as well a very personal one. It's going to be like the different ways of my personality throughout the ages and throughout my life experience, and of course, it's going to talk about how I process everything that happens around me. So I'm going to have songs about like don't believe in yourself, songs about anger for people that maybe hurt you in the past, and of course songs about what is happening in the world. So it's called Espectros, so it's going to be, I think, ready by the end of this year. So wow. I'm currently working in it. Yeah,
that's really super exciting news.
Yeah. I'm very excited.
Do you get an opportunity to play anywhere live, or is it pretty much just done kind of technologically at the moment?
At the moment, it's not my priority. I mean, I don't know if this is the right way to do it, but I really, in my personal strategy about being a singer or to discover how to be, I really want to start by publishing my music. To create a community of people who actually like my music, because when you start in this kind of live performances, I think that it's pretty common to have your family and your friends among the audience. Like the people in the that comes to the shows actually are people that you really know, and it's not bad. I think it's good to have the support of the people you love, but I don't really want to be an artist that pretend to be an artist. I want to have real fans. I want to be among people that actually care about my music, and I think that this is a process that is going to take a little while, because as we talked at the beginning of the interview or before we entered the interview, nowadays I think that the musical market is a very, I don't know, like it's like fast music,
It's saturated.
Yeah,
this is a problem, and it's more about. I remember I was talking to my friend as well the other day. We were just talking about the music, and I was just saying, like I recorded a song back in the day. It was my first classical crossover song, and I was really proud of it. I love the song. It was a cover, and I saved up some money. We made a video because you couldn't do it yourself. Then you had to make a video, and I was really proud of it. It went on. I got 300 hits. I was like, oh my god, man, this is amazing. So I was looking at other covers on YouTube, and there was this one guy who had 2 million hits, and I was like, wow, this guy must be amazing. So I went and checked out his video. He was a stunning looking man. He was so handsome. He was singing with his t-shirt off and a six-pack, but that boy could not sing a note if his life depended on it. I mean, it was awful. but he was beautiful, and he had 2 million hits, and I had 349. You know, I was just like, wow, this is really pretty much. You know, we were saying about, you know, no one does anything for free, no one gives you those opportunities, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, it's like I also refuse on some level to start buying likes, buying followers, because then, you know, I will never know if they actually like me or if they were just part of my $100 that I spent on some YouTube promotional thing.
Totally. And actually, I think that there are ways, I suppose, to be like what people normally consume. You know, you can behave in some particular way, you can change how you look or how you talk or what is apparently like the way you know, transmits some ideas or things like that. But I don't want to do that. I want to stay like honest, to be totally transparent about
authentic and organic.
Yeah, authentic. So the other side of it is, as you already said, it's hard because nowadays I think that people are very much superficial, you know, superficial, and they are like very focused on things that are, I don't know how the word, like ephemeral, like, you know, like this instant gratification.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's hard for an independent artist, but I think as well that when you are doing this like not a hobby but as a passion, it really pays off at the end.
And I think that's evident. I think that becomes part of the attraction when people see that it's just, you know, he's never given up, he's always giving his best, he's always doing that. I think that becomes, you still have to get it out there to certain people, and that is more of a job than actually writing, recording, singing, and, you know, to do the social media and the things you have to do as an artist, which most of the time is quite creativity crushing.
No, absolutely.
You know, but it has to be done as part of the industry we live in now. You know, it's like, you know, so I really, and it's been quite interesting. I've done, you know, 4 years of these shows, and I'd say that 90% of these shows have been about authenticity brought up from the other artists, and I really like how, you know, how that is still remaining a constant. That it's about artists wanting to stay their authentic, organic self. I love that.
Totally.
So what are your plans for the future? What do you plan for the future? Obviously, album.
Yeah, of course it's the album. So after the album for the next year, I want to start like live performances. I need to like settle down all my plans for that, because of course it's going to take a lot of money and of course a lot of time. So actually I've been talking about finding musicians with my producer in order to create a band. I'm going to have my own musicians live. So it's going to be a new part of my career, because at the beginning it's only digital platforms, but I hope that next year it's going to be live performances and more like, be like presence through the people, among the people. And as well, I plan to deliver new music for the next year. Not a new album, but a lot of EPs, I don't know how to say it, and of course new music, some covers. I actually want to explore in this symphonic metal style that is like, the mix between classical music and power metal, heavy metal. I want to add some Mexican elements in this. Yeah, so I have some plans in order to create like songs that show a little bit more about my Mexican identity, So I think I'm going to add some mariachi or something like that in my music. Yeah.
Wow, amazing, mate. Well, man, I wish you complete success and complete enjoyment in your continued path. I think it's very, very exciting. Where can people find you? Where are you?
Well, actually, I am in almost every digital platform. My music is throughout Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. And my main social media is Instagram. You can find me just typing Juan Pablo Sande. and you can know about my upcoming, music and projects, and I can show you a little bit more about myself.
Amazing. People at home, you've met him, you obviously love him and want to support him. So you'll find running along the bottom of this interview all of his social media platforms, and on the title page of this episode as well, you'll find all the links to Juan Pablo's personal accounts in everything, and the fact that you can download and stream his music on all major download and streaming platforms too. Senor, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure to meet you. Maybe in the future, I think a collaboration with Cornelious, even if it's just for YouTube, I think we should do something. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I will be so glad to do it. So,
Yo puedo cantar en español y tú en inglés.
Perfecto. Crossover de idiomas. Me encanta.
That'd be amazing. We can do something. We are definitely in touch. People at home, please stay tuned. You will be announced when there's a Jaden Cornelious and Juan Pablo Sande collaboration, whether it's for YouTube or whatever. We will let you know when that happens. May I wish you untold luck. We are in touch, and I will see you again very soon. You take care, my friend.
Thank you so much.
See you later, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
How amazing. What a lovely guy. Super, super great chat. Really lovely to meet him. Cannot wait to do a collaboration with him as well. Please make sure while you're on your computer or your phone that you go and follow him on all of his social media platforms, and go and check out his music on his download and streaming platforms. You'll find him everywhere. Really important. While you are there, make sure you subscribe to this show and tell everyone about it, because you get to meet some of the most loveliest people from all over the world. How lucky are you? How blessed am I? I will see you next week on the Jaden Show with another spectacular human being. I'm going to leave you with a song that we did mention in the interview by Juan Pablo Sande. This is called Entra en mi mente. I will see you next week on the Jaden Show. Take care. Stay lovely. Bye-bye.
Te asustarías o sencillamente de mí te burlarías. Me miras y no imaginas, puedo contarte cómo estoy, pero no hay palabras, no lo entenderías. Descubre la contradicción, juega con sombras y afonías. Entra en mi mente y entiende. Mejor entra en mi mente. Muchas cosas que decir y que callar, pesadas cadenas que encuentro al escapar. Soy mi defensor y mi enemigo, nada de esto tiene sentido para comprender. Antes lo debes vivir. Descubre la contradicción, juega con sombras. la cima del volcán, mis llamas se extinguirán. Un viento frío me va a ocultar. Nadie